Welcome back. Here with us on Closing Bell, and we have just under 10 minutes to go before the day closes out. Jay Bala of Cash the Chaos is with us. Jay, good to have you on the show as always. So it's not giving us a clear directional sort of clue, the Nifty at least. Bank Nifty has been a bit perplexing. I mean, today it's been showing strength. Otherwise, it was a lot of underperformance. What do you make of things? Let's talk about the big indices first, Nifty and Bank Nifty. What does the setup look like to you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. So we see the Nifty I think, is setting up for a risk-off phase. I think it's a global setup, but as the indecision goes, most of the indices that I track haven't broken below critical supports, but they are signaling a possible turn. So you have to look take cues from the cross assets and the dollar index, which we've been discussing for the last couple of weeks. That's signaling a possible phase of risk off. But as I said earlier, none of the critical supports have been broken. So, we need to be a little bit patient. I see this as a short-term risk of potential. But, we have to decide based on what the market does going forward. But at the moment, it's better to wait for what the markets do. For the Nifty as such, the bull-bear divide is about 19,795. As long as the index stays below 19,795, I'd expect this to drop to the 2022 range, somewhere close to 18,887. But as I said again, I have to re-insist that no critical supports have been broken, and we had an intraday break below 19,300. I think that's going to be a close below that. We'll see a close below that. The Nifty Bank has been weaker than the Nifty as such, and that as such is the reason for the market's weakness. When the Nifty went up 4%, the Bank Nifty went up only 2%. So the more important event has been from the Indian 10-year yields. I'm projecting fresh 52-week highs for the Indian 10-year yields. That will have a crack on the bond holdings of the PSU banks. So I expect a pullback for the Nifty. Indian 10-year yields to somewhere close to 708 to 705, and then start a move towards a fresh 52-week high.
Okay, hi Jay, good afternoon. Jay, what about the Pharma Index? We have almost on a day-to-day basis, we're getting one beat after the other from the pharma space, and that's been the relatively quiet space. What's your view on the index first, on the Pharma Index, and if you have any stocks that you're tracking out there?
Yeah, very strong potential for the Nifty Pharma Index. But from a bullish perspective, it's still a bit stretched in the short term. A short-term pullback would do the index and the stocks within it a lot of good. Let's say a pullback somewhere close to 15,000 or 14,600 would bring in dip buyers for the index. Supply is the strongest there, and tracking markets for so many years. Generally, it's the Biocon which moves last in the bullish phase. So that's a bit of a put off for me. Biocon is looking bullish, but it generally tends to be the laggard and tends to move last. So these two are important stocks within the pharma space.
Sorry, so okay, so you're saying that this could be, the pharma space also perhaps could be nearing something, nearing an end to this up move, at least for the time being. That's what you're saying or hinting at?
No, the pharma sector as such, I think, has got more higher highs to come through.
Okay.
But generally, Biocon is a laggard. It generally tends to move in the last phase of the bullish phase. So that's the negative for the market. But pharma is set to make further higher highs, probably close to 16,000 and 16,500. The setup is quite bullish. 15,000 to 14,600, very strong support. That'll be a bullish pullback for the sector.
I remember last time you had said the dollar index is headed to 110. Do you still maintain that? And what's the global setup looking?
Yeah, the dollar index is looking like it will move at least to 109, 110. That's the key point. I have a thesis that it's going much higher and it's going to surprise a lot of people over the next 12 months to 18 months. The crack probably is going to appear from the European equities. If you recall, we had discussed Deutsche Bank and Commerce Bank back in March, and after that, in 3 days, Deutsche Bank fell 20%. Although I said it's not a short-term setup. If you look at the stocks 50 of the European indices, that's looking like it's made a turn, and 4,200 is a very critical support for the stocks 50 index. And once that breaks, that will signal a risk-off phase. So watch the dollar index as well as the Stocks 50 index in the European markets.
All right, Jay, give us a couple of stocks, that you would like to talk about from the broader markets in particular.
Yeah, I like a couple of stocks within the mid cap and small cap space. Even though the Nifty could pull back, the market would consider that as a bullish retracement, and the punters would be active within the mid cap and small cap space. That's my anticipation. So Bayer crop science within the space is looking interesting here. It could either pause at 5,200 and then turn back. But if they were to take out 5,200, 5,250 range, I think it's headed for very exciting times, probably somewhere close to 8,800. So, but the decision point is about 5,200, 5,300. So keep a stop at about 4,300 and look for what the market does around 5,200 mark. And there's a very interesting small cap stock, which is Shivam Autotech. And that again, it's been around the markets for a long time, since 2009 or slightly even longer than that. It's looking like it'll at least push towards 50 from current levels of about 28, 29. So a stop under 23 would make sense, but it's an absolute essential to keep a stop because it's a small cap, and it even has potential to scale fresh all-time highs of 100. But watch out, small caps are quite volatile. Stops and trailing stops are absolutely essential.
Okay, thank you very much for joining in. Just a few minutes left for markets to close, and it's going to